Um, Sorry I was late. I didn't want to step on Elfbait's toes while he was doing his show. So I jumped over there on him. What up, Shadow?
Hey, long time no see, brother.
Yeah, it's been like a few seconds.
Yep. Those guys are great guys, man. We've got a cool little gigantic family of great people out there. I can't even think of one person out there that I would want to hang out with at some point or another doing one of these live streams.
Yeah, well, the links
Honestly,
in
I
the
can't think
chat.
of.
If anybody wants to jump on, they are welcome.
Yeah, I'll let Jackie know that you're doing this so he can come and say hi because it's been a minute.
Yo,
Hey,
Fancy seeing you guys here.
Long time no see. Where you been, stranger?
What's up, buddy? What are we going to talk about today? How about
Hot air balloons?
being gatekeepers in our own games as DMs? What do we have to do to make sure that the game is going to run smoothly and everybody enjoys it?
You have to throw me out of it first.
Yeah, first things first, we got to get rid of Justin from the game. Hello, my daughter. Thank you for watching. Gemini Wolf, that is my daughter. They like, every time I go live, they like to put it on their big screen TV at their house so they can all watch it, which is awesome.
Those are great kids. My boy, he's too busy for that. I don't know.
You guys know that my son is high spectrum, nonverbal, autistic, and as soon as he sees me come on TV, it just makes his whole day. He's like, "Yay, Daddy!"
That's
Yay.
epic.
Which that's pretty cool.
My kids have no interest at all in what I do.
Since how I can't go, since how I'm still positive for COVID, I can't go over and see the kids because there's no way I'd want to get them sick. And they live next door to me, which is hilarious. I live next door to my ex-wife.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, what's the point? Be an ex. You know what I mean? If you're that friendly, it's like just deal with it. You know what I mean?
We both moved on we both moved on with our life. Her current husband is like the bee's knees and a great DM, which is great. So it's like he's a cool dude.
Dude, how could you be that freaking nice and just cheer, dude? I literally, I'm not going to say how many exes I have, but when it's done, it's done. I mean, even if there were kids involved, it would be like late. Never going to talk to you again. When it's over, it's over. I mean, no, I don't want to see a Christmas card. I don't want to see an email. I'm going to delete all that information from my brain.
We have kids together, and one of them is disabled, so we have to be in each other's lives. And you know what? She's like my best friend. She's cool as shit. Me and her went out and got Starbucks this morning. We do that like every
I'm
day.
a bastard. I would just sucks to be you. But
hi, Heart Blossom. Thank you for joining the vid. Good to see you, beautiful.
Welcome to the show.
Grumpy O'Slan, what up, Max? Good to see you, buddy. I got some of the guys from Elfbait's channel jumping over. I mean, I got
the refugee cast.
I've got Video Geek on my show. I'm like, wow. It's like I'm privileged now.
You've hit the big time.
Yeah, man. Why didn't you stab that guy in that room last Friday?
Sean,
I don't care that other people outvoted me. You were supposed to stab him anyway.
Mages, you can come on to the show too. I'll put the link in the chat, man. I can have 6 people on this show, so bring it all on. Let's just have a panel.
I don't know how T-shirted does it with 10. That to me, that's just asking for nothing but you know what I mean. I don't know how he does it. Just absolute vocal carnage and mayhem and just. But I watched the show and they managed to make it work. So kudos. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know half the guys on the show, other than t-shirted. But
well, looking back a year, I didn't know anybody, and now I seem to know lots of people. It's you just get involved and get talking, don't you?
Yeah, I just love the old geek when we do the choose your own adventure books. Those are like my favorite things.
Good. It's just a relaxing Friday after work, chill out, have a beer.
And I bought some of the books, so
Good man.
So wait, let me get this straight. You, because I have a stack of them as well. I'm looking for something on Quest Mountain, the Gamma World one, I think it is. I can't wait to get that one. I'm talking the original old. I could go get them there in my son's room, trying to get him to read them, and he's too grown up for those kiddie books. But
we play them all the time, and we die a lot.
There's nothing.
So you just read them out. So you just
start
read them for the audience.
There's nothing kiddie about those.
We're gonna die a lot on those.
Okay, those are. I'm talking like the Rose STs, the little paperbacks.
Yeah, there's a stack of them in the back right there. No,
well, they look bigger than the ones I have.
These ones.
Well, genetics.
No, those are way bigger than those are. I'm talking the very, really old ones. You know what? I'm just gonna go get them. I'll be right back.
Go get them. So
these ones, this stack here, are all fighting fantasy books for the Friday stream.
Those are great. I love them.
Yeah, I just found that maybe 2 or 3 Fridays ago. Found out you're doing that. I really enjoyed it as well. Of course, you're not killing things as much as I'd like.
Well, of course, the way the books are meant to be solved is with a minimal of fighting, because some of them are quite deadly.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Ecto, what's up, buddy? Glad to see everybody on here today.
Okay, now I understand why.
I'm feeling better now, so I'm gonna get back to my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday shows.
I remember those. I read those when I was about 12 when I first discovered D&D.
Yeah, these aren't choose your own adventure. These are the Endless Quest, Spell of the Winter Wizard, Raid on Nightmare Castle, Circus of Fear, Robbers and Robots, The Villains of Volturnus, The Hero of Washington Square, Revenge of the Rainbow Dragons, and Revolt of the Dwarves.
I have a quick question.
Well, that second last one has a different context now.
I have a quick question. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
I got a new mic. I just got it yesterday, so it's really the first time I'm trying it out. But yeah.
Shadow's been crackling.
I am.
Have I?
Yeah.
Moving up in the world. Next, I have a ring light, and headphones like certain fancy streamers. My brother, to be exact, he's got ring light, fancy mic, headphones.
My son just got a late Christmas present of a really nice microphone. See, there he is, right there, Lava Lord. That's my boy. He just got this really nice, like probably about $150 microphone as a gift from his uncle. And I'm still doing the show on a tablet. And because Jackie will tell you when he comes in, he's getting ready to start his own political channel. Buyer beware.
I will sub to that quicker than anything.
Just tell him to stay away from Cozy TV, okay?
But yeah, so okay. Do you guys have any particular race or class that you will not allow in your game?
I've never DM'd, so
depends on which version of D&D we're playing. Certainly, if I'm playing old versions, AD&D and whatever, I'll allow all of them. But you've got to meet the stat requirements, and I'm very strict on race and stat limits and level limits in terms of your choices. If I'm running a more modern version of D&D, I ran a 5th edition campaign a little while back, and I brought in a lot of the old D&D class and level restrictions into 5th edition. Said, "Yep, you can pick what you want, but within these limits. I did adjust them slightly, but there weren't going to be any dwarves who are druids, for example, because dwarves live in mountains and druids live in forests, and that is that.
Shadow,
what about druids that live on the ocean, like sailing druids? Would you be opposed to something like that?
No, they don't exist. They don't exist.
Yeah,
because
druids are like
they are the
creatures, right? They're in tune with things with fur and the trees. Kind of
I'm very, very strict with like my vision of the druid is the old English Roman times sort of paganistic Celtic idea. And if you want to play a druid, that's what you'll play, because those are druids. And I am quite strict like that. And we say about gatekeeping your group. If someone in my group comes and goes, but I want, it's like, well, no, hang on. I'm the DM. I'm in charge. I will give you. I'm not a total tyrant, but as long as you respect the world I've created, I'll give you a bit of leeway in there. But there has to be a really good reason for it. You're not just going to turn up and say, but a dwarf could be a druid. Go on, Shadow.
The reason I ask is I'm getting ready to run a AD&D game where there's very little land actually on the planet. And I was looking through the druid spells, and as a crew member of a sailing ship, there are a lot of spells that would, even at first level, that would make a druid a valuable crew member. Getting to learn, the world and nature and what have you. There are a lot of spells that they could use to, like I said, to help out the members of the crew, from predicting weather and just a bunch of other spells.
Right.
Mind you, my planet has it's very much like Waterworld, and there are only a few land masses, and they're not very big.
Are there forested areas on those land masses?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Then that is where the druid will have grown up. That is where the druid will have learnt his or her craft. And that is where the druid would prefer to be. Yeah. But if circumstances exist that have caused the druid to need to voyage out on a boat, I would expect the player to incorporate a yearning to be back in their preferred environment, in their role playing.
Their growth.
They could play the druid. They could play the druid.
I on the other hand, I do not allow druids as player characters in my game. Druids are not nice people. In my games, druids don't care about humans. They don't want to have anything to do with humans. They want to be in their forts. They want to protect their little creatures. And if you go into their groves and you start acting a fool, they will kill you.
Oh, yeah.
Druids are not good. So I don't allow the druid in my campaign. I don't allow druids in my campaigns.
You should think a grizzly old man version of Poison Ivy.
Yeah. I tell people.
Did anybody ever read the Earthsea trilogy and notice that Ged came off very much like a druid in the beginning, and maybe even throughout the series, even though he was supposedly a wizard?
Never read it, but if somebody wants to play a short race in my campaign,
you could probably.
Hobbits are very, very rare in my campain.
What are very rare?
Are more
hobbits.
Hobbits are rare. Gnomes are more numerous. Dwarves are, you can. I really don't. I try to keep people away from playing hobbits, and I do not, unless they got a really good reason. I mean, I let them play like an Aasimar or a freaking Tiefling or some of the other races that are in the older and newer books. But there's some things that, I don't like halflings in my campaign. They don't want to venture. My hobbits are more like old school token hobbits where they just want to hang out in, their city, eat and drink and have a good old time. There are not going to be very many religion or hobbits out
I picture hobbits as being of the traditional Tolkien races. I picture hobbits as being the ones to be most likely to live in harmony with humans, but not with humans necessarily. Because you think of Bree. Bree had a human and hobbit population, and the Shire was a lot of Bree hobbits moving to get their own land.
Yeah, the hobbits want to stay in their land, raise their fields, eat their foods, drink their beers, and have a good old time. They don't want to go out adventuring for strange folk. You know,
hobbits. In my game worlds, hobbits tend to be quite common, mainly or seen a lot by humans because they frequently live in little farming communities quite close to humans because they'll trade with them. Whereas the dwarves and the elves are more likely to be further away.
Yeah, but the hobbits aren't going to go out adventuring. The hobbit don't want to be an adventurer.
No, they're subsistence farmers.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can see hobbits in my campaign worlds. The hobbits are there, but you're not going to see a hobbit adventurer because a hobbit don't want to adventure. I mean, I will have human cities where there's a area where it's mostly hobbits. You know, hobbits live over this area. Are they going to be out running around trying to fight dragons and shit? No.
It's Hobbit Town, not Chinatown.
Right. Exactly. It's funny. Up until recently, I did not allow hobbits or even halflings in my worlds, more as sort of a respect to Tolkien's works, that I didn't want that messing up, or infringing on. I know it sounds weird. I just wanted to leave the hobbits in Tolkien's books. This is where you guys belong. I'm not gonna, mess with them because that was, I always felt that it was something, very special to Tolkien. He created this thing and he just, they were something, special, and he didn't want to, he probably wouldn't have been a big fan of them being in adventure games like this or role-playing games just because, like what Hungar said, they don't do that. There was one guy that did that, or five if you want to count all of them, and that was it. In the entire history of Tolkien's thinking, there really wouldn't be any hobbits other than in Middle Earth. But recently, because of many people wanting to run them in my games, that I decided, you know what, I'm going to try it out, see if I can make it work, and hopefully wherever Tolkien is now looking down on us, he'll be like, it's cool, dude. I don't mind. Go ahead. Have hobbits in your world. People seem to want to play them a lot. So I'm going to give it a try, and hopefully, the players won't make a mess of things running hobbits in my world.
I'd be quite happy winning a game, an entire hobbit party through a game of that.
I love Mert.
I used to have that, and I wish I would have never sold it. Word to the wise out there: never sell a role-playing game book or a game book or whatever. You will regret it. I even regret the garbage books that even to this day I know I would never run. Superhero 2044, the very first superhero role-playing game, but the worst superhero role-playing game of all time, still fetches a good $100 on the open market, and I wish I would have never sold it just to be able to say I have it in my collection. And I recently had to rebuy Deadlands because I never thought I'd have anybody to play it with. Mind you, this was 20 years ago before I ever thought I would even actually have a son. Now I have a son, and guess what? He loves Westerns. He's playing Red Dead. We play Shadows of Brimstone together. So I had to go out and buy Deadlands. And so
I quite like Deadlands.
I want to say what's up to R.W. Bishop. What's up to Max, Gemini, Cal, everybody. Thanks for joining the stream today.
Howdy, folks.
We're actually talking about a normal subject instead of me just ranting about how many or whatever I want.
We can talk about balloons.
I just want to say this one thing. With Tolkien looking down on us, he saw the opening sequence to Ring of Power, and he's been making like a blender in his grave ever since. Just spinning it around and around and around and around.
Well, I hope not. I mean, I get what you mean, but I hope he's doing something else besides just rotting in the ground. That's me.
Yeah, he's hanging out in heaven, telling people stories from the farmer cows of Ham.
Is it now?
It's just a lot more hard to listen to now that he's rotating.
Is it now that I mentioned my Tolkien stories?
Yeah. Farmer Gods of Ham is so underrated and such a great book.
You're absolutely right. I wish I still had that one too. I had the little paperback version as a kid, and I love the artwork and the simple line drawings. And there's so much out there that
I don't know if you all know, but there is a personal reason why I like Tolkien and I feel sort of attracted to his stuff. That is, I am from Birmingham in the UK, which is where Tolkien spent his younger years. I went to the same school as Tolkien, King Edward's, Birmingham. My grandmother grew up in Moseley, and if you know that, and when I go to my grandmother's house, she lived in Moseley, about half a mile from Moseley Bog, where Tolkien spent his youth. And every day on my walk to school, I walked past Old Joe, I believe it's called, the clock tower at Birmingham University, which was Tolkien's inspiration for the Tower of Orthanc.
Damn it! I am so peanut butter and jelly right now.
Right? Jelly. I know.
You got to live the Tolkien. You got to live the Tolkien life, man. You're like, yeah, I'm just chilling in Tolkien's town, looking at his tower,
and I'm short and round with hairy feet, so I love hobbits.
Why haven't you written a book? Seriously,
because I can't concentrate on writing books. I'm not very good at that sort of thing.
You just write one page a day.
Hi, just talking to a mighty writer.
The text to speech is really good. You just need to hit the Window H key on your keyboard and start talking. You gotta hit in a writing program first, though.
I don't know if the American operating system would understand my British accent, but
yeah, they're pretty good. They understand me, and I never sit up. So
hey, at least you're not laying down in bed like Omen. Man,
I actually am.
Every time I see Omen, it's like he's getting ready for a nap. No, I love Omen, but he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Regular on my
that's
stream.
Why he doesn't want to have a channel is because it would be the guy on the bed. Which
good theme that.
Well, my mom, who was both my parents had polio, and my whole life and longer, obviously. My mom was a DJ in a radio station, and she was the woman on the couch. So every time I think of that, it kind of reminds me of her, because he's just, well, you guys know Omen.
Yeah, I've seen him.
He's a funny guy.
No, I have like a spare bed in my workroom, right? Because of the insomnia.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I don't want to bother the girlfriend waking her up because I'm getting up and down 30 times a night trying to get some sleep.
I totally actually know exactly what that's like.
Yeah.
My wife absolutely hates the fact that I don't sleep upstairs anymore because I can't. It's just...
Hell, Max and Noro have their own bedrooms. I mean,
well,
it's more common than most people think.
That's a Rick and Lucy
thing. When we are younger, and even now, Tolkien was such a part of our childhood and upbringing that actually me and my brother had our mom make us little cloaks. And we lived out on a big ranch that was owned by the Mormons. My stepfather worked there. And we would put on our little cloaks and we'd carve swords out of palmetto fronds. And we'd adventure through the woods wearing our cloaks, And
how many times do you end up beating the hell out of each other with those swords?
Daily. But Yeah, I mean, we read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings when we were young, and we were
I know the feeling.
We were just
my old man made us rifles out of wood. My brother and I, we would do the same thing, but we'd relive World War II because
my brother
discovered smoking yet.
Yeah, my brother and I, we bought crossbows. Fucking yeah, and we were shooting each other with them.
Wow. I mean,
hey, they had foam tips.
That's a different story.
You had foam tips. We used to make homemade bows and shoot each other with just sticks.
No, we bought crossbolts like freaking with the grips and all that. But yeah, it was like last time I told somebody this story, they were like, "How old were you? Like 10, 12?" No, it was like 25.
We actually just bought a new crossbow, and I would definitely not recommend doing that. Hell, we made crossbows in wood shop back in the day, so I don't know what they were thinking, but they don't do that anymore. Go figure. We did have an archery class, which was fun.
Well,
my high school had a gun range in it.
We grew up when it was fun to be a kid.
Lucky bastard.
Whoa! Oh my God! I've got a celebrity.
This is Canada.
I've got a celebrity. I've got the Dungeon Minister. Hey, Dungeon Minister, there's a link in the chat if you want to join, man.
He can take my spot if necessary, because I've got a game in 5 minutes.
Oh, it would be an honor. And Yo Geek's got to leave anyway, and I've got room for 2 more people. Lawn darts. I remember lawn darts.
Save a spot for the
Those
little guy.
Those are called the juvenile Trapani kit. Put a hole in your head.
Yeah, we used to run around wearing our cloaks and playing out in the woods.
I would pay money for a photo of that, dude. If you've got a photo of that, you better make it a shirt.
No photo.
Oh, that's that would make a great shirt.
You could kill it or with a lawn dart.
My first mission with my time machine is to go back. Where was this you were playing? Because I need a photo of that.
The Mormon indoctrination camp.
It's a place called Desert Ranch in Central Florida.
What year? I gotta set the Wayback Machine just right.
Judging by that beard, it was 1512.
Early 80s, like really early 80s. Like 79, 80. Because I was born in 73.
You're gonna see a blue call box out in the middle of Florida with an old guy and some binoculars looking for you, man. You remember that? Do you remember that? Okay, it was successful. It worked. Okay, now I just gotta find the photos.
You dork.
Guilty as charged, aren't we all?
I'm gonna have to shoot now. Just gonna sort me bits and pieces out, then we'll go out.
Yeah, but, kill at least 3 players for me, okay?
I'm playing tonight, so I'll see what I can do.
You can stab them.
Have fun. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers. Thank you.
Take care, man.
Party on.
We're having a successful live stream today. We got 13 people watching already.
Ooh, 13.
We are some lucky bastards. You know that.
Someone praise Moloch.
Yeah, to have the Dungeon Minister.
No.
It's 13, man.
To have the Dungeon Minister in my life.
Crap. Just because I have a tattoo of him sitting behind me, it doesn't. No. To
have the DM Minister on, to have Yo Geek, Elf Bait, we got the Crafty Gamer, we got Mike, Max, we got Cal. I mean, we got my buddy from Iowa listening in.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of Cal, I don't say this often enough, Cal. Thank you. I owe everything to you. Well, almost everything. If it hadn't been for Cal and Grim telling me to meet you guys, I'd still be at my dinner table making cheesy videos with my son. And look where we are. 8 months, 9 months later. I've met scores of incredible people. I've been in like 20 different games online. going to shamelessly plug the game I was in last night because you can actually watch it over on 28 millimeter RPG. I got to play Traveler with some great guys, and I'm going to be back next week. Hopefully,
cool. 28 millimeter.
He's one of the
good guy.
If you guys are not subbed to him, shame on you. Go sub. As a matter of fact, steal your wife or your girlfriend's phone, your kids' phones, and just sub on every account you can possibly get. Let's get that guy up where he belongs because he's one of the greats out there. When it comes to great role playing and painting and all the other stuff that he does, I do not understand why his numbers are where they're at. They really should be higher than mine, to be brutally honest. Just absolutely phenomenal game last night. I mean, I didn't do much, but that's part of my character's thing. You guys will find out later. There's some stuff going on and behind the scenes, but everybody there, welcomed me and made sure I'm coming back. So thank you guys. It was a great game last night.
Yeah, I want to answer this question right here. Yeah, Dylan. If you put or upgrade your Windows from 7 Pro to 11, what I would do before I did anything is back up all the files that you're afraid you're going to lose.
Yep.
I mean, it shouldn't. I'm not sure if it's going to erase everything on your computer if you upgrade your OS, but just to be safe, I'd back everything up.
Yeah, back everything up. And 11 is a lot easier to use than you'd think.
Yeah, 11's a piece of cake. So back up your files, get 11, and then put your files back on. You should be able to do that without any issues. That's what I would do.
Yep.
And Violet, my 13-year-old, she wants to start band next year with violin. I think that's pretty cool.
Violin's cool.
Yeah.
Nice instrument.
And I think all kids should learn a musical instrument.
I wish I did.
I absolutely agree. I totally agree.
I can play like 8, but it's been years since.
And I wanted to say something to Cal. I have some Pokemon cards also from a previous relationship, and I just came across a $5,000 card that came in like starter packs. It's still actually sealed in the whole bit, and I'm like, what the hell is this crap? $5,000 for a piece of paper? And I'm like, I guess I'll be sitting on that for a little while longer, won't I?
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'd take the $5,000 before the flights, but that's me.
Yeah, I thought about that because there's some toys I'd rather have. I'm looking to buy another 6-shooter and a few other toys. And
you can buy yourself a decent mic to rival the boys.
My mic was expensive as hell. My roommate found it at a garage sale for free. And he said, hey, I got this for free. Try it out. And it works well.
It actually does.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to buy it. I'm getting ready to buy a new laptop. And when I get the new laptop, I'm going to invest in a mic. Probably not the ring light. Like, who wants to look at this old face? But, well, a bunch of catfish, that too. But I am going to upgrade stuff. There's some stuff out there that's crazy expensive these days. My Magic the Gathering collection. See, the game plan for me is I'm going to be opening a game shop hopefully in the next couple of years. I don't want to wait until the boy goes off to the Air Force.
Cool.
But if that's what I got to do, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to open a game store in Texas, and then I know I can get whatever I ask for an item, whether it be a comic book or Magic cards or whatever. I don't have to, pay the middleman price or make the middleman prices because I bought and sold things, and I can do eBay because I have an eBay store. But even then, whenever I sold Magic the Gathering cards, I got literally ripped off blind. I'd send it with a tracking number, etc., and the customer would say it didn't arrive or it arrived damaged, and eBay would give them the money, take my money back, and there was literally nothing I can do. So don't sell Magic cards on eBay. It's just
it's Because even if they're not lying,
I'm really
it would be too
on
easy.
eBay. But with Magic the Gathering cards, I've bought them with no problems. But selling them, you're just asking for it. And I've got Magic the Gathering cards all the way back to my oldest cards. I think are some betas and Arabian Nights. And if you know anything about it, they're worth quite a bit. But if I'm sitting behind the glass case and a customer comes in, it's like, here it is. This is the price. The money's in my hand. There's no refunds, no exchanges. Sorry, this is life. Buyer beware, all that.
A piece of advice. I don't know if I was telling you this before about Hasbro's hiring conditions with their tournament judges. If you have a store with tables for play, which I recommend, and you host tournaments and they send judges out to you, have your own people shadowing them, because they've been known to hire convicted diddlers. Not accused. Not accused. Convicted. People who have spent time in prison are now being put out to judge Magic tournaments.
I've actually got some strategies for my store. One being, it's going to be a membership store. You're not going to walk in the door without filling out some paperwork. And if they don't like it, bummer. One of the reasons why I won't be living anywhere near Austin. But yeah, you want to come in, cool. You will not be able to touch anything because everything's going to be behind the glass. I've worked in game stores. I won't be hiring anybody, period. Because that's where the biggest theft comes from, is from your employees. And if people can't touch anything, they can't steal anything. It's that simple.
Exactly.
You want to look at it? Yeah, I'll get it. I mean, you walk in, the glass cases will be like 5 feet from the door. What do you want to see? You could have, because as a starting business, you cannot afford theft, and you can't control what gets stolen unless you literally control what gets stolen, and that will be zero. Nothing will be stolen from my store. Another reason why I'll be opening it in Texas is because I will be armed 24/7. So good luck with that.
Well, just a piece of advice,
So to get mindful
of that. I would have never. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but I would have never thought to think of something like that. But thank you for that advice, because I do plan on having a place for people to game. Off to the side, maybe a separate building, or I'll rent 2 buildings, or however that works out. Because I do know that if you don't have a place for people to hang out, you just don't make as much money. You just don't.
Have the commercial stuff at the back, tables, behind the wall.
Yep, absolutely. Because I've got too much stuff to not want to get rid of some of it, especially, like I said, the cards. That to me is just,
Well, like Max says, opening a store in California seems like a bad idea.
Living in California is a bad idea, and yet here I am.
Opening a store in California is just putting up a poster in front of a toilet.
Right.
What's funny, here in Orlando, there's a store that sells guns and games.
I could do that. I've got the
Florida, chicken in every pot, a cap in every.
My dad owned a gun store for many years, and I know the business, and I could do that too. But I'd probably just have that next store as well if I do well enough, because I'm planning on eventually just buying out a
strip mall.
Yeah, exactly. We've got plans for a restaurant.
250 Rider says guns, games, and weed.
Yeah. I don't know what the laws in
Did
Texas
you hear
are.
There was that. Thanks for coming to the show. It has been awesome.
There was that judge. I don't remember what state it was.
See you later, grumpy old man.
Challenging the legality of making people declare if they were smoking weed when they were buying guns, because it's a violation of the Second Amendment.
in the state of Florida, you can have your weed card and for medical, and you can have your concealed permit, your concealed carry permit. But the way you have to do it to get past that, you can't have a weed card if you have your gun card thing, is you have to have your concealed carry permit first. If you're already a concealed carry permit holder and you want to get a weed card, then you can get it. Now, when you have to renew your concealed carry permit, because you got to renew it like every 5 years, that's where you come into the issue.
Yeah, and I saw this thing. They're saying that that's not legal because
But it drives them crazy that you can drink all the alcohol you want and own a gun.
Yeah.
And I think people who've been smoking weed are less likely to get violent than people who've been drinking bourbon.
Well, it depends on the. There was this paper out of Denmark. It was Denmark or Norway that was saying the newer strains of weed, because the higher THC. We had this conversation like the second time I was on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like schizophrenia could induce schizophrenic breaks, but
that's absolutely that is a fact. I know of at least one person that after imbibing an edible, and mind you, only like 2 bites, had a very massive issue, and I don't know from experience, but from what I hear, things when it comes to that have changed. I wish Mages, but yeah, what's available commercially now is so much more potent than what it was back in the 60s and 70s.
Well, it depends on the person too. It really does depend on a person. You're gonna I take Xanax pretty much every day. I take opiates pretty much every day. I have to function.
That's what all addicts say, man.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but it's like I know people who smoke weed all the time, and I've never seen them have any kind of episode like that. I know people who take edibles because they don't like to smoke. I know people who vape pens with weed, because weed shouldn't be classified as a class 2 narcotic. It really shouldn't.
I think it's I've always heard it's got something to do with hemp paper or something like that, but
the rope. It was the rope.
Yeah.
The rope manufacturers back in the day did not want it because it was a cheaper alternative, and then they used that. Right, I agree. Don't do drugs, kids.
Well, obviously, don't do drugs.
It's not a drug, but Max comes back. Weed is a drug, but caffeine is also a drug.
You shouldn't drink caffeine. Tobacco's a drug. Tobacco's a really bad drug.
Nicotine's a drug.
I know. I did a cigarette. Trust me.
This is a drug. This is full. This is full of nicotine, and if I don't have this,
it's actually more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah, weed is more,
the tobacco
are more addictive.
No, but I would know, but I totally believe it. I've got a brother in jail who I've not seen in over 30 years, who's never getting out. He's doing 400 years in Montana, and I'll never see him again. And he was into all that stuff, and that's why I'm not. And yeah, just be careful, guys. I'm not going to tell you what to do or not to do. Just be careful and think about what you're doing whenever you're doing what you're doing.
I'm a libertarian. I think that people should be able to do what they want as long as they're not harming or getting into other people's rights. Do what you want to do as long as you're not interfering with my right to do what I want to do. Do it. I don't care if somebody wants to smoke weed. I'm like, man, I am like freaking. I can't even think of the name. The country that's right next to Spain.
Portugal,
yeah. They legalized all drugs. They have less issue with drugs now and people ODing than they did before they legalized all drugs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll have to look into that. But
what up, the GM's alcove?
Even if they did, I don't.
Hey, Fritz,
I doubt that they have.
GM, if you want to jump in, I will post the link in the chat again.
Well, this is his day off, so he may just be doing other things. But Fritz is, again, another one of the absolute greatest of the greats out there. As a matter of fact, I think he won an award for being the best DM of 2022. I don't know. I just heard it through the grapevine. But I'm sure he'd love to come in and show off his tiara and crown and trophy. Oh, wait, I didn't send them to him yet.
Alcohol and cigarettes are way more destructive than weed. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you mean by destructive. From my experience in my news,
sitting around doing nothing all day is pretty destructive.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was going. You read my mind, because great minds think alike. But yeah, I've seen people, especially who was a guy who was once a really good friend, has spent the last 10 plus years of his life doing nothing but smoking weed and playing a particular video game. That's all he's done for the last 10 plus years of his life.
I've got friends that drugs have destroyed and killed.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to tell them not to do it, but they didn't listen. I did everything that I can. I don't drink. I don't do drugs because I choose not to. But I'm not going to try to lead somebody else's life for them. I will give them my opinion, and they can listen to me or not. But you know, you can only help somebody if they want to be helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You go do some schoolwork, baby. I love you.
Well,
my daughter is awesome.
Yes. Stay at school. Don't do drugs. My son
can do his homework and listen to us, but she can't. What's up with that?
Girls.
Yes. Now, I have done drugs and drank before. When I was young, I did pretty much everything you could think of.
Girls can't multitask.
So I know.
Yeah, but my son's listening, so I've been pure as the driven snow my whole life.
I used to drink every weekend. I used to smoke weed. I used to do other illegal substances. I know what it's like. And yeah, it can be a lot of fun. But I got to a time where I was like, you know what? It's time to get my act together. You know, I started making minimum wage. I wanted to start making like 50 grand plus a year. So I stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs, and just, you know, got my stuff together.
I actually quit drinking on my son's 3rd birthday because we were having a birthday party and we had people over, you know, adults that were drinking, and he had never seen how people change from, you know, they get to your house and then they start drinking and then they started acting very different, and it really
scared them.
Shadow froze.
Yep.
How about now?
This is why you need to sell that Pokemon card.
No.
It's called a callback, man. It's a joke.
Money's not the issue with me. If you guys remember the Addams Family, there's old business and new business, and I really adhere to that. I don't do certain things until I've done other things, so that nothing changes except in, you know, toward the better. But what I was saying, you know, with my son, I quit drinking on his 3rd birthday because he freaked out when he saw his family, how they changed because of drinking. And so I haven't had a drink in 12 years, and I haven't missed it. What I miss out of all the things I've given up in life, other than a few relationships, is the coffee. I stopped drinking coffee about 7 years ago. I only drink water now, just pure water. That's it. No milk, no juice. So I gave it all up, and the only thing I miss is the coffee. If I smell a pot of coffee brewing, man, that just takes me back to so many good memories. And I'm just
why not drink decaf?
Because I made a promise that I'm only going to drink water, and I keep my promises even if other people don't want me to. That's what a promise is.
Yeah.
And
I know somebody.
In there. I put caveat in all my promises. If certain things change, then hell yeah, I'll probably have a cup of coffee. But I can tell the difference health wise from giving up soda and all the sugar and caffeine. I was to give you an idea, guys. I was drinking a 2 liters at least a day of Diet Cherry Pepsi, and an entire blender of homemade mocha fraps, which is basically ice and coffee and chocolate powder or squirty chocolate stuff, and that was my breakfast and lunch every day. And I got to a certain point, I'm like, this isn't good anymore. I got to stop, and the only way for me to stop is to just never touch it again. And if I could do the same thing with cigarettes, I'd be probably hanging out with you guys for a couple more decades. But
one morning I woke up with a hangover and said, I'm not drinking alcohol anymore. And I haven't drank. I don't drink. I really don't drink sodas. I drink sugar-free Gatorade a lot because my body, with the issue with electrolytes, I've got to drink as much electrolytes as I possibly can, so I don't die. But most of I drink coffee in the morning, and then most of my drinks for the rest of the day is just water.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah. But I gotta have my coffee in the morning, man.
I've got to get back off the pop. I was on pop, off pop for a while. I relapsed into the sodas, as you call them.
Yeah.
And Hungar can attest. I have it delivered to me in 20-liter batches.
I just subscribed to you, 250 Rider, so you got one more subscriber. And I can't help it that I've got so many subs. I'm charismatic.
Yeah, if you put the link somewhere, I will sub. I sub to everybody. No questions asked. And I hit the notification bell. The only way to spread our messages of gamerisms out there is to do that, and here on YouTube and Rumble and things like that. I subscribed to somebody. I subscribed to Holy Diver Saturday morning, and I ended up hanging out with him during his stream. And I'm like, thanks to you, Hungar, and your brother, shouting him out. And I thought I already subbed to him, but I guess I didn't. So I went over there and hung out with him. And when the show was over, I had like 4 more subs, and I'm like, you guys are incredible.
I just posted 250 Rider on the chat. Everybody go sub to him. I mean,
give me a second.
If you got a channel and you want me to shout you out, just let me know, because I'm all about helping people get subs. I have no idea how I got so many subs, because I really don't do crap on my videos. I just, talk about whatever the heck I want to. I think people love me because they know I'm always in the hospital. I can
tell you why, but you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's pity subs because I'm always in the hospital.
No. Oh, no. I was going to say, because of your attitude, dude. With everything that's going on in your life, and you can have a smile like that. I know people who've got it made, and they couldn't crack a smile like that to save their damn life.
Everybody,
you're always cheerful, even when I put you on the couch.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives, man. So,
now I gotta write it down, because you absolutely are. You're something we should all aspire to, myself included, if not more so, because my life is last week I was in 5 different games.
Yeah, I got some extremely bad news today. Nothing health-wise, but it's something that's going to make my life a little bit more difficult. And I got mad about it for about 15 minutes. And then I'm like, you know what? The hell with it. I've been in this situation before. I will be in this situation again. And I always get back up to the top, baby. That's right. You can't keep me down.
Exactly. That you're the way you look at everything, your positivity, which is another promise I made this year, as my New Year's resolution is to try and spread that positivity out there we're still, it's only February, second month out of 12. We've got an opportunity to make this a year that will at least somehow make up for the past 2 years that we all had to suffer through. And if I could do something to make it better, I'm gonna. My son and I were of the mind that we all deserve the best we can get out of this life, and this year is the perfect time to start. So everybody out there, right now, I'm typing in QC250 writer. Don't know you from Adam, but you know what? Don't care. A friend of a friend is a friend, and I'm seeing you now have 25 subscribers, and I do not expect you to sub back if you want to.
I also hit
the sub button. I want to say something about your New Year's resolution. Nobody ever said it had to be for good.
I actually I don't want to go to the hot burning place when I die. I don't know about you, Hungar, but I'm hoping to see you in the not hot burning place when we're no longer living on this planet. I want to go to the good place. And
that's right.
What one do you think has better hot tubs, though?
The good place. The good
Rider. He says, Hungar the Starvarian, bro, you are the nicest person I have ever met. You're very honest and accepting. You're so positive. I know we haven't seen each other in a while, but it was never a bad time. Thank you, my brother from another mother.
Hey, you know what? Exactly how we all feel. And, I don't know what you do on your channel. I'm just going to call you 250 because it's short. Or I can call you Ryan or whatever.
He does wheelies on his little ninja motorcycle.
Okay, that's always a good time as long as you don't crash. Justin, there's a movie out there. It's called What Dreams May Come. You ever seen it with Robin Williams?
That's a great movie.
It's sitting on my desktop right now because I think you mentioned it and I meant to watch it, but
that's a great movie.
I have seen it before, but I don't remember anything about it except for somebody in it dies.
Yeah,
I don't even remember who. What?
Like everybody.
Everybody
does.
Yeah, well,
everybody.
Yeah, okay.
But for me, that was like the best way I could describe what I've always thought that the good place is like. And, for those of you who are not into religion or any of that, that's cool. That's, for me, that sucks because then I won't get to hang out with you, like forever. But for those of you who are into it, it's the perfect way to explain what it, for me at least, it's going to be like. If I'm lucky enough to make it in, even if I only get, in with the cheap seats, I'm okay. It beats the alternative.
Have a good one,
Take care, Mages.
Yeah, Mage, Matt. I hope you get that sub you're looking for.
Only sub I want is from Publix, man.
Yeah, well, nice meatball sandwich. Well, he was joking about getting a submarine.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, there are
Bob
a few
Ross
people.
Shirt on.
You know what?
Turn them into birds.
We actually have some subs from some pretty big famous channels out there in the crafting world. That's because that's how we got our start was with the crafting. But thanks to Cal, take care. We started moving into the more of the other things. I mean, because I always did role playing and other game reviews back in the early days, which is only like 2 years ago. But thanks to Cal, meeting all you guys, even though some of the super big 100,000 subscriber crafting channels have subbed to us and have been really good to us, the relationships my son and I have built, meeting you guys is worth 100 of those guys.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely amazing. When I think about, it bums me out, but Bruce Lombardo said something to the contrary. I said, I wish I would have done this so much sooner, so many years ago. Where would we be? Blah, blah, blah. I probably would have missed meeting all you guys because we would have went a different direction. So what Bruce said is, now you did it exactly the right, basically most perfect time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna run with that. Everything happens for a reason. Something I've always believed, and I wouldn't change any of it for
Think
anything.
of it this way: if you'd started earlier, you'd be hanging out with your favorite YouTuber right now, Black Magic Craft.
Not a fan. Not a fan. I'm sure you understand why. I really like his channel, and I still respect his channel a lot and what he does. But I know that he and I could never hang out without getting into like a kind of a heated argument or just I just don't.
I can guarantee you, I'm more of a socialist than he is.
All right, guys. I'm going to say
your hour is up.
Our hour is up. Everybody sub to Shadow and Sun. Sub to everybody in the channels. Got channels. They're all good guys.
Don't sub to me. I don't have anything on my channel.
Don't sub to Justin. He's just our little troll on the show.
Do you have a channel?
Well, I'm on YouTube, so technically yes. But no, I don't do any uploading of stuff. I should.
Well, I'm gonna go look and see. And if it says
don't. I have like 2 or 3 videos up there, and one of them is the opening scene to Barbed Wire.
So I'm gonna be, when you change your mind, just look at who was it recently. Was it Mr. Max or there was somebody else? Oh no, Elfade. Duh. He look where he is now. A couple of months ago he was like, you know what I mean? Not into it. Now he loves it. Now he's addicted to it. Just like all of us. Yeah. It really is kind of addicting. Look, I'm trying to keep Hungar from ending the show. See?
Yeah. Guys, yeah. Come back Wednesday, 12:30 or so. We will be doing our live again.
I might be out of my meeting on Wednesday, so yeah, sure. I'll try and come back.
I don't know any good video editors, 250, because I really just do lives because I'm too lazy to actually make a real video. But deuces, everybody. Have a great day. God bless. Stay safe out there. Go Kansas City Chiefs, winning the sports ball tournament.
Yeah. Clipchamp is the one built into Windows for video editing.
And you guys have a great day. End of the broadcast.
Party on, guys.